name is John Cordy. I'm sorry I can't be with you tonight, but things come up in my life very unpredictably, and this time I just couldn't make it. I also, before I say much else, I want to add that I think several other people in my class deserve this just as much as I do. Two that I will mention are Stuart Jordan and Sue Wiggins. Stuart is now a retired from the Goddard Space Center, where he was a senior scientist and did things that you and I will never be able to figure out, but they were very important. Sue Wiggins, as you may know, taught at Kirkwood High School for a long time, and that's a devotion that I think needs a special award all of its own. So who is John Cordy? I graduated in 1954, 56 years ago, hard to believe. And in preparing for this little talk, one of the significant revelations I had was that all of the major decisions in my life were actually made at Kirkwood High School, not at college or later. And I owe that primarily to four teachers. The first was Dorothy Voorhees, our art teacher. In the 11th grade, she showed us the films of Norman McLaren, a Canadian genius who made all kinds of animated films, sometimes without even using a camera. Look him up. Anyway, I saw Norman's films and I thought, that's it, that's what I want to do with my life. And so that started me on this path. The second teacher who had a big influence on me was Dewey Scheichels, American History, in the 11th grade. And she was a great lady, and she and I and a couple of other weirdos were the only people for Adlai Stevenson when he ran against General Dwight Eisenhower. But I got a sense of the American political landscape from her. Third teacher was Steiny, Mrs. Steinkamp, who mainly was a terrific role model. She proved every day that you could be smart and funny at the same time. I sat behind a guy named Clark Ashburn, and we were studying one day, and out of the silence, Steiny's voice came very sweetly, saying, "Ashburn, dear, I do wish you wouldn't chew gum in class. It makes you look absolutely bovine." I still remember the phrase from those years. The fourth teacher, who had a big influence on me, was Mary Williams, the 12th grade English teacher. She encouraged me and others to go into creative writing, and we entered some contests and won prizes, and it started my whole life as a writer. So, to cut to the chase, I have since made 35 full-length films, dozens of animated and short documentaries. I worked with over 1,000 actors, some of them very good, some of them pretty ordinary. Anyway, I think I'm the only director of film to win awards in all three areas: drama, documentaries, and animation. Very few people flit around that much, but I did. I stayed with TV movies longer than I should have, according to my agents and other people, mainly because they reached so many people. The first night that Miss Jane Pittman, the autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, was shown, it reached 50 million people, which is astounding. In fact, the more amazing statistic I came up with, because somebody said, well, how many people do you think you've reached with your films? And I added up some numbers I had, Nielsen ratings and other estimates, and I came up with the amazing figure of 1 billion viewer hours all over the world. I had no idea that it was that much, but it was very sobering. My public resume is on Internet Movie Database, IMDb. There are some DVDs available on Amazon, and I've just donated my last film, Miracle in a Box, to the Kirkwood Public Library. It's a documentary on restoring classic Steinway and other grand pianos, but it's really about people and workplace and satisfaction in what you do and so forth. So mentioning satisfaction, I guess the question is, did that work for me? Has this been worthwhile? I'm certainly not rich, but I didn't have that on my agenda anyway. I started to make films because I wanted to bring peace and social justice to the world, and you only have to read the morning papers to see how fantastically successful I was in that. The great thing for me right now is digital video. It has simplified the filmmaking process, made it very inexpensive, and I started out as a one-man band. I'm ending up as a one-man band and having a lot of fun with it. I'm also writing screenplays, articles for magazines, and some poetry. So I will leave you with my most recent poem, which is incredibly short and relates to my life as well as other things. It's called Please Don't Tell the Butterflies. Please don't tell the butterflies that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Thanks again. Bye.